What is going on? The catch. Fam, hope you guys are doing phenomenal tonight, man. Hope everyone out there has had a great weekend. Hope you guys are ready for week 7 of the NFL season because, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be here tomorrow. And so, what we're getting into tonight. We've got some late night fantasy Q&A. I'm way behind schedules. So, anything that you guys need, start sits, trades, injury updates, weather updates, we're probably close enough that we can go over that if you guys want. Anything at all to help you guys get the best possible lineup going into week 7 of the 2023 fantasy football season. I am here for you guys. So let's get in the live chat. Let's get it going. Let's have some fun. Let's talk some fantasy football. And in terms of news for the day, not a whole lot, really. I mean, we know that Debo is not going to play now on Monday Night Football. Looks like Christian McCaffrey is actually going to have a chance to suit up, which is exciting, I guess. Maybe not exciting if you spend a lot of free agent bidding on Jordan Mason or Eli Mitchell, but ultimately exciting if you do own Christian McCaffrey. Outside of that, guys, there's really no major news that we really need to go over for the day. Julio Jones was activated from the practice squad and will play for the Eagles. So if you're holding out hope on Julio Jones, you're going to learn something, I guess, tomorrow against the Broncos on Sunday Night Football. Outside of that, Daniel Jones is a long shot to play Sunday versus the Commanders. I don't see why he would do so. We are probably going to see Tyrod Taylor out there. Where Kyron Williams head to IR. He won't be eligible to return until week 12. Major bummer if you are a Kyron Williams owner. And I mean, what in the world are we going to do with the rest of this Rams backfield? Guys, we're taking so many shots in the dark. When we look at the plethora of running backs available for the Rams right now, I just hate this situation. But I mean, Zach Evans, Royce Freeman, Myles Gaskin, Darrell Henderson. I mean, a lot of people going with Henderson right now. Some people still believing in Zach Evans. Some people liking Royce Freeman. Gosh, what a mess. But sad news if you're a Kyron Williams owner, he's going to miss. I mean, we already knew he was going to miss some time, but yeah, not eligible to return until week 12. So, Jeff Wilson Jr. officially activated to the Dolphins roster. And outside of that, yeah, I mean, nothing else we really need to go over. So let's not waste any time tonight. Whatever you guys need, get to go in the live chat. Thoughts, comments, concerns about week 7. Who are you guys starting? What is your lineup looking like? What questions do you guys have overall? Let's get into it. Let's talk some fantasy football. So, Mr. Jones, good to see you, bro. What's up? What's up? Half PPR start, Josh Palmer or Donta Foreman. This is must win. Feeling the pressure here. I mean, I will say I kind of like Donta Foreman this weekend against the Raiders. It's a good matchup on paper. Josh Palmer is fine. This Chiefs secondary is just nothing to sneeze at. I mean, I do expect points in this matchup. I do expect a good game script. But half PPR, I mean, I might go with Foreman here. Half PPR, I think I say Foreman against the Raiders. Is a really soft run defense. I like Palmer full PPR, but I don't even see a crazy elevated ceiling for him. I mean, I don't know, 10 points last week, 10.7 in week 4, and 14.6 in week 3. So, I mean, he's only scored 1 touchdown in the last 3 weeks. And really in half PPR, you need, for the most part, that wide receiver to find the end zone. So, I just, it's very close, but I think I kind of like Foreman this week. I think he, has a shot at having a pretty decent stat line. I mean, I don't think his ceiling's massive either. We got 15 touches last week. He still had 4.3 yards per carry, 65 yards on the ground. So it's a much better matchup this weekend. I mean, we think about this Vikings team and we think, bad defense, but they are top 10 against the run. And Las Vegas, not good against the run. Okay. They come in bottom 12, 24th against the position. So I think, it doesn't feel great, but I'm going to go Foreman. Be like the game script for the Chargers Chiefs for what it's worth. All right, David, what's up, man? Start Watson or Sean Watson. I mean, I'm assuming super flex. I mean, super flex, I'm probably always going to go with the quarterback, but I do really like Christian Watson this weekend against the Broncos. Soft defense all around, still bottom 12 against the wide receiver position. But I think super flex, I just think it's smart to always throw the quarterback out there. And, the Colts, relatively soft against the position, 25th against the quarterback position in fantasy. So I'll roll Watson out there if I'm reading this correctly. Wilson or Daryl Henderson? Jeff Wilson or Daryl Henderson is what I'm going to assume here, not Garrett Wilson or Daryl Henderson. Guys, I know this is like kind of like a lazy answer, and it was the same way through last night's stream, but I just don't trust this situation for the Rams. Like somebody's going to get the rock, and Daryl Henderson does make sense, but I mean, maybe Sean McVay just wants it to make sense and to elevate the game plan for the Rams. I just don't feel good, and I don't really feel great about Jeff Wilson either. I mean, the Eagles are the best team in the league against opposing running backs in fantasy football. So, man, I don't think I'd start Wilson. I will say in this scenario, if it's between these two, I'd probably go Daryl Henderson, but I really think if you're starting a Rams running back this weekend, you have to expect disappointment. I mean, somebody can hit here. Don't get me wrong. But, then again, right? Like they're at home, which, makes me feel, I guess, a little bit better. Uh, they're still facing the Steelers, who are 18th against the running back position. I mean, it's not like awful. It's not great. I mean, but guys, I just really think we have to be cautious with this Rams backfield. And I mean, let me know in the chat when you're looking at the Rams running backs right now, like who do you guys like the best? I'm kind of torn. Ghost Hunter, Evans, Najee, or Ingram. I go Najee here. I mean, the Rams pretty decent against the run. Okay, I mean, it's not like it's a fantastic matchup. The Rams are top 12, but I just go Najee here simply, based on volume. Like he's had 14 or more touches in the last 3 weeks. Not really big in terms of receiving work, 2 or less targets in each of the last 3 games, but the volume has been good enough. Jalen Warren still hasn't hit double-digit rushing attempts in a single game, so I think you just go Najee coming off the bye week. I don't expect a crazy high ceiling for him, but once again, it's like Evans, Ingram. I just don't like the situations there. Thoughts on Kittle, no Debo on National Tight End Day? Yeah, I mean, National Tight End Day, like that's cool, I guess. But I don't know if we want to apply it to fantasy, but I mean, maybe you never know, right? But I mean, I think no Debo. We're not really sure about CMC. Regardless, like I like Kittle every week. I don't really care what the situation is or who he's playing. I mean, Kittle is just a player that you drafted to start at the tight end position on a weekly basis. So you can always throw him out there. The Vikings kind of middle of the pack, 16th against the tight end position. We know Debo's out. We know CMC is questionable. So, I mean, I like Kittle just point blank going into the weekend, but hey, maybe National Tight End Day does add a little sprinkle there. How do you feel about me starting Brian Robinson at RB2 because I have Pollard and Brees out? I mean, I like Brian Robinson a lot. I mean, yeah, we've gotten a lot of questions about Brian Robinson like over the last week or so. And I don't really like, I think he's a great start. I mean, he's playing the Giants, who are awful against the running back position. I mean, they were fine against the Bills, but outside of that game, really, really bad against the running back position. Okay. So I just think he's a super solid start. I mean, literally the Giants, even with that game against the Bills, are still in the bottom 4 of the league against the position. And, when we look at Brian Robinson, like, he kind of had a dud against Chicago, which really disappointed a lot of people. Yeah, he had a tough week, ironically, week 3 against Buffalo, but every other game this year, he's had 13 or more fantasy points, and he just had 13 fantasy points, including a receiving touchdown against Atlanta, who are a top 10 unit against the run. So I like Brian Robinson a lot. He's the RB10 in PPR right now, so I think he's a great start. Need to start a running back tomorrow due to buys and injuries. Options are Jay Williams, Hunt, Murray, Ingram. I think you just go with Hunt here. Had a good game last week. Decent matchup this week. See what happens, but I think you go ahead and roll with them. Cats, what's going on, man? We got Jeff Wilson, Henderson, or Craig Reynolds. I probably just go with Craig Reynolds here. Kind of out of these options, I feel the best about him because he's tied to the best offense. I mean, the Dolphins, but so maybe that's not the best way of putting it. But he's tied to the offense that we know will run the football a ton. And I know the Dolphins have ran a lot this year too, but I like Craig Reynolds. It is a tough matchup, and he is kind of dealing with two different injuries, hamstring and a toe injury. Not a good time to be dealing with those injuries because it's a good opportunity for him. But I just feel like he's a decent start. So I'd probably go Reynolds, Henderson, and Jeff Wilson. I'm not quite there with Jeff Wilson. I think he'll be kind of eased in. They already know what they have in most starts. Salvin Ahmed looked fine in garbage time last week, but it's just a tough matchup. The Eagles, the best team, literally the best team in the NFL against opposing running backs in fantasy football. So, and actually that's dropped to number 2. Number 1 is now the Lions. But point being, I was like, you know what? After last week, that may have changed. So I need to fact check myself. But still, number 2. So I go Reynolds if he suits up, or if you don't feel great about the Reynolds situation with the injuries lingering here, maybe just go Henderson. But if Reynolds suits up, I think he is a guarantee for the best volume out of the 3. So I probably roll with him. What's going on, Tommy? Just got off work. Kent State is saying, what's up? Good to see you, bro. Hope work went well. Pray for Aaron Jones playing. I think he will suit up. They haven't elevated any running backs from the practice squad, including James Robinson, if I'm not mistaken. So I think it'll be good to go, and it's a great matchup. Best matchup you could possibly have. Fred, Sam Howell, Watson. I think Watson's a fine start this week. Good matchup. But I mean, he hasn't had a crazy high ceiling. It's been decent. I like Sam Howell this week. I really do. I think Watson's fine. I mean, I think Watson's kind of the floor play. Howell probably brings a little bit more upside, but that's about it. So if you want to take a little bit of risk, you can go Howell. Access, what's up, man? Full PPR. Start Evans or Jalen Warren. What is week 7 is just the worst. Just the worst week of all time. I don't know. I'm starting to kind of lean Henderson. Part of me still thinks Evans will get touches. Guys, I just really think, I know a lot of you guys are in desperate situations. It's a really tough week, but man, I think we're going to see some really low ceilings out of Evans and Henderson and Mason and Mitchell if they end up being the guys for the Niners. So I probably go Jalen Warren, but I don't know if his ceiling's much higher either, but I guess I'll go Jalen Warren. Pick 3 to start. DJ Moore, Watson, Addison, Gabe Davis. Yeah, I mean, I like all these guys this week, but I probably said DJ Moore just because his situation at quarterback. I think that's the easiest way to look at this. Eddie got offered Chase for Amon-Ra. Should I take that? I just saw your comment. Apologized, but glad you're in the stream tonight. Should I try to trade Olave? These are both super close. I mean, I think Amon-Ra, you just know exactly what you're getting right now. But there's I'm not in any way down on the opportunity to get Jamar Chase. And I still think he's been perfectly fine. I mean, he had 52 points 2 weeks ago. So he's a wide receiver 7. Amon-Ra is a wide receiver 13, but he's missed a game. And Jamar on bye week this week will probably kind of put that pretty close. Super close, man. I mean, these are 2 of the best wide receivers in the league. Whoever you like better, I think it's a fair swap either way. But I think you're kind of getting the same exact thing on a weekly basis. You have a really safe floor in both these guys and a really high ceiling. So I think the Lions may be playing a little bit better football right now. So maybe keep Amon-Ra, but like if you end up getting Chase, am I going to be upset? No. So I think both are fantastic plays, and really in like the same tier of just players that you want on your squad no matter what. So I don't have a problem with either player. It's just like both of these guys could finish top 3, top 5, and no one would be surprised if they were right next to each other in scoring. So I trust your gut on that one, man. So try to trade Olave. Probably not, because you're going to have to sell him low right now. And I would rather just kind of sit back, and when he has one of those good games, if you're still not feeling good about his production, then you sell him then. But I wouldn't sell him right now coming off of, I mean, it's kind of interesting because like he wasn't even playing that bad, and he didn't even play that bad just on Thursday. Still had 12 fantasy points, but it's just kind of like that one play like overshadowing Chris Olave right now. So I think you hold him. And I mean, he's got 3 fantastic matchups coming up: the Colts, the Bears, the Vikings. Before he faces, I mean, it's a bye week then he faces Atlanta, Detroit, Carolina, much tougher matchup. So if you're going to sell Chris Olave, I think you sit back and see what happens these next 3 games. Chris Godwin or Romeo Dobbs? Dobbs has the better matchup, so I'd probably go Dobbs. Godwin, I mean, I know we saw a little bit more volume last week, which was, I guess, promising, but at the same time, like, we knew Mike Evans a little banged up, so he faces Atlanta this weekend. Not a great matchup. I mean, Godwin is like fine for a floor, but I think Dobbs against the Broncos gives you more upside. Tommy says he's stashing Henderson. Yeah, and I think right now, like, I mean, a lot of these players, whether it's Henderson, Jordan Mason, Keontae Ingram, whoever at running back, like, they're definitely worth picking up and having on your bench. But man, unless you're just absolutely desperate, which a lot of you guys are, I don't really want to start them. Probably no brainer, but Rashee Rice or Zay Flowers. I mean, I think that's actually really tough. I like Rashee Rice a lot this weekend. Truly, truly do. Good matchup. Chargers secondary has been really bad. The Chiefs are at home. Zay Flowers, though, also at home. And I mean, really, like, when you look at this weekend, Lions, Ravens, Chargers, Chiefs, Dolphins, Eagles, probably the best games of the weekend. So, I mean, Lions, Ravens, like, on paper, should be a defensive game, but man, I don't know. I think these defenses could bend. So I think you go Rashee Rice for a good floor, actually. No, I'll say that the opposite way. I think Zay Flowers is a solid floor option, and Rashee Rice gives you more upside. But both are good starts, actually. Andrea, good to see you. Gus Edwards or Donta Foreman? I'll go Donta Foreman. Much better matchup than going up against the Lions. Birdman was good, my guy. Good to see you. Hope you're doing great. Need a defense, Green Bay or the Rams? I don't know how much I mean, I think the Rams are fine. I think Green Bay's fine, but Green Bay's on the road. And like this Broncos team, like, yeah, I mean, they suck, but they've still had some games where they can put up a lot of points. And like, if we kind of go through and look at things here, the Packers are still bottom 12 against running backs in fantasy. Okay. Packers are pretty dang good against wide receiver position, 3rd overall. So we'll give them a nod there. And let's see here. They're very good against quarterbacks too. So they're really only bad against running backs. But I don't know. I just have one of those feelings that I don't really like them this weekend. I mean, it's tough to travel to Denver and play in that, environment. So I think I'll go the Rams. Flex Brian Robinson or Godwin, half PPR, definitely Brian Robinson for me. Should I cut Debo? No. Need one. Palmer, Addison, Michael Wilson. I'll go Addison, then Palmer, then Wilson. Watson or Sam Howell? Second time we got this. Watson for floor, Howell for just a smidge more upside. Would you trade Chase for Bijan and Garrett Wilson? If that's not enough on the Bijan side, what else would you ask for? I mean, it depends on how badly you need Bijan Robinson and you need the running back on your team. I mean, I do think it's a good time to trade for Bijan because his ceiling's been a little bit lower the last 2 games. He's got 2 tough matchups, so I don't know if that's going to change. He's at Tampa Bay, then at Tennessee. Then he gets Minnesota at home, who are our top 10 unit too. So I don't know if his ceiling's going to be super high lately. I mean, I still really believe in Bijan, and his targets and receptions are going up. 8 targets last week, 5 receptions. He's had 5 or more targets every game except for week 5. So, I mean, he's got to be involved one way or another. It's close, but we're trading away a player like Jamar Chase. It really depends on the entire roster, in my opinion. Good to see you, Taylor Gang. What's up, my guy? Amari Cooper or Rashad White? I will go Amari Cooper. It's a bad matchup for Rashad White. I mean, you guys know my love for my boy Rashad White, but he has had just such an awful schedule, and it's not getting any better anytime soon. I would go Amari Cooper. Ben Skronik getting moved to running back, says Tox. What's good, Tox? Is he really? I believe you. But wait, is he actually? Dang, he's hurt. Dude, he's not even that bad of a receiver. I just feel like there's too many other good wide receivers on this team. Interesting. We'll have to check on that. Kyler Murray or Watson when both activate rest of the season? I mean, Kyler historically has been the better fantasy quarterback, but it's really, really hard to answer this right now because we don't know exactly what we're going to get out of Kyler. So too soon to say, but I mean, the safer option is Watson. Browns defense, Rams defense, or Seattle? Definitely the Browns. I mean, they're not even a great fantasy defense. They've just been a phenomenal real life defense. But against the Colts and Minshew Mania, I'm going to go with the Browns. I mean, I know they're on the road, but Minshew had 3 turnovers last weekend. So it's okay, Tox. I knew who it was. Do you expect Jason to develop to more productive fantasy relevant role down the stretch? Depends on how long the stretch is. It's definitely possible. This passing attack for the Hawks is getting better, getting closer to what we saw last year, but I'm not putting a ton of money on that right now, unfortunately. Commanders or Lions? I'll go Commanders against the Giants. Flowers or Deontay Johnson? What's up, Ray? I'm going to go Flowers. Go Flowers. Let's watch Deontay kind of ease into things. The Rams have been pretty good against wide receivers this year. They're top 12, so it is a tough matchup for Flowers. Well, actually, where do the Lions come in against wide receivers? Let me check. 18th, so not too bad, actually. I go Flowers. Let's roll Flowers today, tomorrow, whenever. Have Bijan and Wilson. I personally would not do that trade. Appreciate the insight. Yeah, it's super cool. Like I said, it depends on the whole roster. What's up, Team Lee? We buying Devontae Adams. Got a league mate showing some frustration on him as listening to offers. I mean, Devontae Adams has proven throughout his career, he can be productive with just about anyone. He's getting a lot thinner over there in Vegas, but I think if you can buy him low, why not? It just depends on who you're trading, what your roster looks like, all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, I'm not overly concerned about Adams right now. David, start Howell or Watson? Is that the third time we got that tonight? Watson is a safer floor play. I think Howell a little bit riskier, but brings more upside. So, I mean, I think both are fine. Is that really the third time we got that today? Because it makes sense. People thought Watson was going to play, and they went and scooped up Sam Howell. All right, special case. Struggling with running back injuries and bye. Desperately need to start one. Who should I start? Hill, Algier. Should I pick up Latavius Murray or Royce Freeman? Oh, goodness. Is it crazy that I'm thinking like the first player that I like is Latavius Murray? They're playing the Patriots. Patriots are, let me see. There we go. 19th against the position. So who do you think will get the best volume? I mean, volume is king with running backs. I'll go Latavius Murray, but maybe Justice Hill just has such a bad matchup. I don't think we can trust Algier. Royce Freeman, I'm not trusting him right now, but I'll go Latavius Murray. Tough. Start Devonta Smith over Hollywood. Man, what do we do with Devonta? It's a good matchup, good game script here. So I can't believe I'm saying this, but the safer play is Hollywood Brown. Okay. I think you go Hollywood. This just could be one of those games where Smith gets back to true form, pops off, good game script. This is going to be a really good game between the Eagles and Dolphins, but I think the safer play is Hollywood. Seattle's been really poor against receivers. I don't want to think about it. Start Hollywood or DK if healthy. You always start DK, but I just said, I really like Hollywood this weekend. Start 2, Addison, London, McLaurin. I'll bench London. He's looked good lately. I get it. But it's a little bit of a tough matchup for him this weekend. So, the Bucks aren't great, but they're not bad. I'll bench London. Dobbs, Evans, Jeff Wilson, Downs. Definitely Romeo Dobbs. Definitely Romeo Dobbs for me. Mike, what's up, my man? Love or Hal? Upside play. I'll be starting that quarterback against you. Truthfully, I would start Jordan Love. The Broncos, the worst team in the league against opposing quarterbacks. I do think Sam Howell's a really solid play too, so I don't think you can really go wrong. But I'm starting Jordan Love in every league that I own him, so I would roll out Jordan Love. Like I said, Broncos literally dead last in the league against quarterbacks in fantasy. I think he gets right coming off the bye week. Like I said, it's tough for teams to travel to Denver and everything, but I'd roll him out there, even if it's against me. Truthfully, I would. Crazy stupid trade, but Cousins, JJ, Myers, McLaughlin, Reynolds for Tua and Tyreek. Wow. I'll take Tua and Tyreek. JJ, I'm not on the sell JJ train. But JJ versus Tyreek Hill is neck and neck. So I'll take Tyreek Hill and Tua. You know what you're getting. Horrible season for me this year in both leagues. Hey, there's still time, Nick. Don't give up. Half PPR with Debo out. Should I flex Latavius, Rondo, Moore, Jaden Reed? Jaden Reed could be sneaky against the Broncos, but I guess Rondo Moore. But it's just tough, John. Who do you like the best? At least Rondo Moore and half PPR is getting like some carries, right? No worries, Eddie. We got you. Adams is a mess. They start throwing him the ball more to him, and all he'll do is get injured. It could happen. Pete, what's up, my guy? Where's that guy from last night? He's the best. I know, man. He can hop on. I'll send you the link if you want it. You guys think CMC will play this Monday? I think he really wants to. So we'll see. Depends on if San Francisco needs a win or not. Love or Goff? I like Love. Listen, Goff's been great, but this is a tough matchup this weekend. So I think Goff is still okay if you need to start him. But man, trying to find the Ravens are third against opposing quarterbacks. The Lions are on the road. I'll go Love. Bunny Hop, what's up, my guy? Packers or Seahawks defense? I'll go Seahawks. I got a bad feeling about the Packers. Do you guys think that's crazy? I'm going to go Hawks. I'm going to go Hawks. Chase, what's up, my guy? How are you, man? Rice or Elijah Moore? Definitely go Rashee Rice here. Kicker question. We got Carlson, Boswell, Dicker, Hopkins. Yeah, I think Hopkins is a good start. You know, the Browns, one of these teams, like even against a poor defense, like they're going to put themselves in positions where they don't finish drives. I like Hopkins. You know, like Dicker and Carlson have been fine, but I mean, Carlson has just completely dropped. Actually, Carlson's been awful this year. I take that back. He's the kicker 29. Last week he was fine. That was what I was thinking of. But outside of that, he's been awful. You know, Dicker the kicker, the Chargers just not really a team that are attempting a lot of field goals, you know. So and maybe against Kansas City that changes, but I don't know. I think he's okay. Boswell's interesting, but I think I agree with you. I'm gonna go Hopkins. Would you play McLaughlin over Foreman? I still think Foreman will get better volume, so I'll go Foreman. What's going on, Josiah? Good evening. Which defense would you pick up? Raiders, Hawks, Rams, Bucks. I like the Raiders. Throw them out there. A lot of injuries in Green Bay secondary. Yeah, I got a fishy feeling about them. Are you starting one flex? Who are you starting one flex? Two running backs out of Pacheco, Swift, Gibbs, and London. I'm starting Pacheco. I'm starting Swift. I'm starting Gibbs. You could go Drake London if you feel better about him in the flex. I'll say this much: if Craig Reynolds does not play, go Gibbs. If he does play and you don't like that, you can go Drake London in his PPR. But yeah, I'm definitely starting Pacheco and Swift. They're the safest starts here. Who should I drop to add a kicker? Mason, Henderson, Spears, or Warren? Oh, God. Battle the waiver wire running back committee players. Such a tough call. Mason or Henderson, whichever backfield you don't feel as good about. Listen. It looks like CMC is closer to playing than we think. Henderson's going to have a shot for a couple weeks, so maybe keep him. Spears and Warren are great handcuffs. Is it crazy that I think you should drop Mason? Start Mason or Eli Mitchell. You're flipping a coin. I mean, like if I try to tell you guys that I knew who would be the better start here, I'd be lying to you. Okay. So you're flipping a coin. Mason has gotten the touches like so far, but we know Mitchell knows this offense. I don't. My heart says Mitchell. My gut says Mason. I don't know. I truly like. I don't want to like give you guys like a false answer. I guess I'll go Mitchell if I really have to, but just I would expect disappointment with either player. Dylan, what's up, my guy? This week, pick one: Stafford or Howe. I'll go Sam Howe. Call me crazy. Stafford's fine, but I'll go Howe. I think there's more upside. For defense, Rams, Hawks, Packers. I'm gonna go with the Hawks against Arizona. Would you drop JSN to get one of them? Because I have the Patriots defense and the Cowboys. Drop the Patriots. I mean, really, like, has the Patriots defense like done anything in fantasy? Their defense 27. I would drop the Patriots defense. They're playing Buffalo, Miami in the next 2 weeks. Like there's no reason to roster them. And they get Washington and Indy, which could be interesting, and a bye weekend in the Giants. So like maybe you're stashing them for that, but you don't need them right now. You can pick them back up off the waivers if you want to. Who? Rashad White or AJ Dillon? Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm saying this. Dillon. He plays the Broncos. Like, oh my God, I can't believe that. Oh my God. Falcons should trade for Kyler. I don't disagree, Don. What's up, Don? Who's going to win the Rams running back lottery this week? I think it will be Henderson or Evans. You get the most touches, but Lord only knows. Manchester snatched Monty after someone in my league dropped him. Wow. Yeah, that should have not happened. Henderson's a running back to own in in LA. Yeah, I mean, he might be. I kind of am leaning that way. Love how Sean McVay can arrogantly call up any running back off the street and turn him into RB1. I know. If you don't start Smith this week, you're never starting him. I mean, yeah, like it's so tough, man. The ceiling has just been non-existent, but this has got to be a get right game, right? Should be points in this game. Eagles are gonna have to keep up. I mean, I can't believe we're saying that like after last year, but man, like this Dolphins offense, probably the best in the league. So I don't disagree with that sentiment. Should I flex Amari or Flowers? Amari. It's very close, but I'll go Amari still. He's been great. Remember Todd Gurley was a bust before McVay took over. I miss Todd Gurley. Which wide receiver would you go for? Metcalf if he plays, but McLaurin's fine. Struggling is trying to trade my league mates. I think most of them are inactive. I mean, some leagues that just happens, man. It's a bummer, but some leagues that happens. Andrea, good to see you. Have a great night. Yeah, DK is banged up, so I mean, keep an eye on that one. Watson or Geno? I like Geno this week, but I feel pretty good about Watson. I feel good about both these guys. Maybe Geno because he's not coming off injury. Rich, what's good, my guy? I have Algier subbing in for Brees. I mean, I wouldn't expect much. Like, I just wouldn't expect much. I would expect disappointment. He hasn't topped 6 fantasy points since week 1 when he had 24 fantasy points. Thank you, Arthur Smith. Who would you get, Latavius Murray or Eli Mitchell? I mean, I'd still pick up Eli Mitchell because it's a handcuff situation with far more upside. Glad to have you, Pete, as always. Who has most potential to get 10 plus? Carlson, Hopkins, or Patterson? I'll go Hopkins, but I do think Patterson's quite interesting too. Spence, what's up, bro? Good to see you, man. Kind of do have a bad feeling for the Packers. Think they allowed 300 plus yards, couple scores. Yeah, it just feels like a trap. What's up, B growing stuff? I'm in a 14 team league. I'm 6-0. Let's go, baby. Should I drop Cook and pick up CH at Pacheco? Yeah. I mean, there's 14 teams. Maybe there's a reason to carry Dalvin Cook, but most leagues, there's really no reason to roster him. He might get traded. Maybe like he goes to a better situation for him, but I think handcuffing is just as safe. So I don't have a problem with that at all, man. Reed or Dobbs? If it's Romeo Dobbs, I go Romeo Dobbs. Set 2, start 2, Pacheco, Eckler, Saquon, Jacobs. Oh, God almighty. Oh, gosh. Oh, my goodness. You have to start Eckler, and I think you go Josh Jacobs against the Bears. But you have 3 guys that you just don't say. Like you don't sit Eckler, Saquon, or Jacobs. So I'll go Eckler and Jacobs. But I mean, don't be surprised if the other 2 guys outscore the other 2. You know, even Pacheco in the mix going against the Chargers. So I'll go Eckler and Jacobs, but man, just good all around. Thoughts, on starting Philly or stashing Philly defense, for next week. So they play Washington. Yeah, you can go scoop them up. I mean, they're on the road. I mean, their defense has not been good for fantasy. Well, it's been decent actually. They're top 12, but the last 3 weeks have not been good. So, and I don't anticipate this week being good. So, on the road, going to Washington, that's probably fine. Roshan out, full PPR. Should I start Warren, Jeff Wilson, or pick up Foreman? I mean, call me crazy, but I like Foreman the most. Who do I drop? Roshan, Warren, Charbs, Jeff Wilson. Whoever you like the least, are you able to put any of these guys? I guess you can't put any of them on IR. They're all worth holding for different reasons. So, like, this is truthfully just one of those situations where you have to look at whoever you like the least. Spence, we're happy to have you when we do have you. We need you active again. What's going on, Flex Lord Chino? Should I trade Hollywood for Terry in London? Backs are Brees, Pacheco, Ford, Najee, wide receivers, or Puka Cup, Ridley Brown. I really like Hollywood. I mean, like, yeah, he probably has a safer floor. He's been great this year. I mean, let's just take a quick look because I think it's easy in this situation to really go off name value, right? So McLaurin's wide receiver 31. Drake London, ironically, is the wide receiver 32. Hollywood is wide receiver 19. So I think I agree with you. I think I just keep Hollywood. I mean, if you really need depth, which Puka Cup, Ridley, it's close, but I think I just keep Hollywood. Taylor or Ford? Taylor. Safe to drop Elijah Moore? Yes. Who do I start at RB2 and PPR? What's up, Jeezy? Rashad, Warren, Latavius, or Dylan? And don't say Rashad. I'll go Dylan. I mean, just I can't believe it. I'll go Dylan. Start Raiders or Seattle? I like the Raiders more. Do you think DK and Aaron Jones will play this week? Probably. So funny, John is cringing at these questions. This is just a tough week. I hate week 7. I never want this week to happen again. I'm never going to think about this week again in my life. Good to see you, Gob. Puka or Ayuk? Very close here. Both have phenomenal matchups, Vinny. Very close. I love both these guys this week. Which offense do you believe in more? Oh my gosh, it's so I don't think you can go wrong here, man. I mean, literally, you've got the Vikings are the 3rd worst team in the league against opposing wide receivers, and the Steelers are 23rd. They're still bottom 12. I'll go Ayuk, but I still think it's closer than you might think. Rashad might be your best, sadly, or Warren. Yeah, and I mean, I still think they're like Dylan has the best matchup, but maybe Rashad White still has the best volume and finds a way into the end zone. But it's just another tough matchup. Taylor or Ford at RB2. I go Taylor. Definitely a bad week. Who'd you play between Murray or Mitchell just for the week? Latavius Murray. Call me crazy, but I would. Yeah, I don't like any of the players. I'm sure you don't either. But another issue here is like, what if CMC does play and then you're screwed because it's Monday night? Like, who are you going to start? Cam Akers? Like, who can you pick up who's available in that game, And the Vikings have been good against the run. So, I mean, I don't think you like either option, but I'll go Murray. What's going on, John? Good to see you, bro. Hope you're doing fantastic. Is it time to trade Mahomes? Maybe trading for Hurts or Herbert? Some change? No. I mean, you can always anticipate it, see what's out there. But no, Mahomes still like quarterback 4. So I don't really want to trade Mahomes. But if you get the right offer, Hurts and some change and Herbert and some change are still good. I mean, Mahomes is QB4. Hurts is QB2. So, I don't know if that's going to happen. Then Herbert's QB6. So, I mean, I think, yeah, if you can trade for either of those guys and an additional player, that's fine. Full PPR pick 1, Myers, Ford, or Madison. Yeah, I'll go Madison. I like Madison this weekend. Call me crazy. But Myers would definitely be the guy if Jimmy G was playing. And even then, he's probably okay. If Hunt doesn't play, I'll go Jerome Ford, though. That was the worst answer. It went 3 different directions. Half PPR, McLaurin or Wilson. I'll go, or McLaughlin or Wilson. I'll go McLaughlin. Spence moving worked a month straight, but should be more active in the coming weeks. Nice. In Kansas City, wow. Are you moving in Kansas City? This is the show to watch right here, especially Saturday nights. Thank you, Birdman. That's very kind. Jamal Williams or Cam Akers. Gosh, I hate week 7. I'm not starting Jamal Williams this weekend. I don't want to start Cam Akers. Oh, my gosh. Wait, Jamal Williams has already played. Oh, rest of the season. I guess Jamal Williams, because if something happens to Kamara, they've shown that they want to run the football where the Vikings throw the football far more. So I'll go with that. Is Kittle must start with Debo out? I mean, Kittle is just a guy you start every week, no matter what. But yes, his ceiling should be better this week. No problem, Benny. Where do you have Christian Watson ranked this week? I love Christian Watson this week. Good matchup. I mean, like I said, hard to travel to Denver, but man, we just can't ignore how bad this Denver defense is. So I think there will be points in that game. Have Laporta and Goddard, starting Goddard. Would you flex Laporta over Flowers? Probably not. I still prefer running back or wide receiver, regardless of scoring format in the flex. So I'll go Flowers. Defense start, pick 2. Nick Bolton, TJ Watt, Fred Warner. Ooh, good options. I'm going to go TJ Watt and Fred Warner, but bear in mind, I don't play in IDP leagues. But, I mean, yeah. How do you end up with these guys? That's a great roster. Latavius Murray or Keontae Ingram. I'll go Latavius Murray, I guess. Thoughts on this trade? Eckler and Jones for Chase and Gibbs. It really, like, especially in a trade like this, John, it just depends on the entire roster. Too much at play here. Like, what do your wide receivers look like if you lose Chase? I think I prefer the Gibbs and Jones side, but it's very close. Because Eckler and Jones is, I mean, Chase is still involved on the other side, so it's close. Week 7 we just need to get week 7 over with, guys. Should I start Peyton Manning or Russell Wilson? Always Peyton Manning. Always Peyton Manning. Not even close. Has anyone figured out this Rams backfield? Only Sean McVay. Only Sean McVay has. Going to Scottsdale. Okay. I don't know where that is. I was going to try and act like I knew, but I don't. Should I trade Pollard for Amon Ra? Yes. Have JT, ET, and A. Shane with AJ Brown, JJ, Ayuk, and Watson. I mean, you're pretty solid at wide receiver, but I mean, you can get by with JT as your RB2. You're starting ETN, then A. Shane comes back. I mean, then you maybe try and flip one of your other wide receivers because you'll have AJ Brown. Like maybe, I don't know, man. I'll take the depth at wide receiver here. But if you don't pull off the trade, your team looks really good either way. Hopefully we get word if Jones plays before morning, because then I'm definitely 100% firing up Dylan. Yeah. I do. I mean, Dylan is like a good player to own right now going into tomorrow's matchup if Jones does not play, for sure. Thoughts on Michael Mayer? I really want to see a more consistent pattern emerge here. I think he's fine, I guess. But like outside of last week, we haven't seen anything out of him. So like I don't know if I feel great about starting him. Fine to pick up, but I don't really want to throw him out there in my starting lineup. Christian Watson or Amari Cooper, very close. Cooper's a floor play. I like Cooper a lot this week, really regardless if Watson plays or not, but I like him more if Watson does play. Christian Watson's an upside play, though. And sorry, regards to Deshaun Watson and talking about Amari Cooper, not Christian Watson, but yeah, Christian Watson's a great upside play this week. I really like him. Can McPherson be dropped, or do you think he will get more opportunities? Money Mac, the Bengals kicker. Yeah, you can drop him. Northern part of Phoenix. I thought it was in Arizona. Nice. I didn't know. Pickens, Metcalf, McLaurin are my other receivers. Then I probably wouldn't do the trade. I would keep Jamar Chase. I would probably keep Jamar Chase, man, because Chase looks pretty important. Yeah. I mean, unless your running backs are just god awful, but I think you keep Jamar Chase. I think you do. Get out of here, Jeezy. Thoughts on stashing Tajay Spears since Henry might be traded? Yeah, I mean, he's already been a great handcuff. So, yeah, if he's out there, he should be picked up, unless you're like in an 8-team league or something. But yeah, he's a great handcuff. Deontay or Watson in full PPR? Christian Watson for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Christian Watson. Let's let Deontay kind of ease back into things. And he's fine if you have to start him. But if you're a player like Watson, roll him out there. No problem, John. Happy to help you, my dude. Dillon or Gibbs? If Jones does not play tomorrow and you own A.J. Dillon, I really think you should start him. Played fine against the Raiders. I get it. It's A.J. Dillon. The Broncos are the worst team in the league by far against running backs. So I'll go Dillon. Getting offered Hurts, Amon-Ra for A.J. Brown and Josh Allen. No. Jalen Hurts is the QB2. Amon-Ra versus A.J. Brown's probably a fair swap either way, but and I mean, what is Josh Allen the QB1? I mean, like, this is such a close trade. Yeah, he is. I don't know. I'm just so high on Amon-Ra right now that it kind of blindsides me when I look at things. But A.J. Brown has had a better season than him, so you can do that trade. I mean, like, I think it's still like a really. I don't know if this trade like completely elevates either roster. Like, I think it's so close. But yeah, if we're going by rankings, you take Brown and Allen. I just am in love with Amon-Ra. 2 wide receivers needed out of Pickens, Sutton, Rice, Downs, or Randall Robinson. I would start Rashee Rice. I really like him this week against the Chargers. They're at home. We should see points in that game. He's been good. He's a super safe play. Randall Robinson is really interesting. I do like him. But I'm going with George Pickens and Rashee Rice. Get a good floor play, get some upside. Got Buffalo defense and the Ravens defense. Do I drop one, pick up more depth? I really try to not roster 2 defenses unless like my opponent, like it's Saturday, my opponent has like a defense that's going against like the Dolphins or the Eagles or whatever. And like, they're not really paying attention. And I kind of have like a free play I can make. I just move someone to IR. Like then maybe I'll, but yeah, answer your question. I just roster one or the other. And just stream on a weekly basis at the position if you need to. Yeah, I like Dillon's chances to score a touchdown for sure. Pick 2 to start this week. Najee, Dillon, McLaughlin. Najee and Dillon are my calls. Yeah. Traded White and Myers for Michael Thomas and Monty. I like that trade. I like that trade. What a catch by can't guard Mike in the end zone this past week. No problem, Frank. RBs are Swift, Henry, Charbs, Gibbs. I mean, it's still close, John. Like, would you rather have solid running backs if you do the trade and weak wide receivers? If you do the trade, you have really good running backs. Eckler, Jones, Swift, Henry. Your wide receivers, the floor just lowers because you don't have Chase. So, like, I think you can do the trade, but then you're just looking at your roster as a team that is built around the running back position. Does that make sense? And you also have to understand, like, you trade a player like Chase, he ends up as a wide receiver 1. It is what it is, you know. Like, I think it's a fair trade in essence, but you just have to kind of look at, are you okay with viewing your roster in that regard? I have not looked at, let's see, Weather Report Week 7 NFL. Any games to keep an eye on? Ooh, a lot of clear games, cloudy games. Yeah, nothing. Everything's domed, cloudy, or clear. Let's go. Thanks for asking, Don. Gob, have a good night, my dude. I played Dylan, even if Jones, I think he gets a full work. I don't think he gets a full workload. Yeah, I mean, I think you can start both those guys and like they could both have a good game. Monty for Brees, only if you're completely desperate. But Brees is on bye week this week. I'd keep Monty out of the two, though. I like Brees, but I keep Monty. I think Keaton Mitchell will take over the Ravens backfield in a couple weeks. I mean, I don't trust the Ravens backfield ever in fantasy. Underdog just tweeted Royce Freeman will get majority workload. I mean, I heard that earlier in the day. And I mean, Underdog, a great source, of course. They're usually pretty ahead when they do send out an alert or tweet. I just don't feel good about it. I don't know. I mean, I think, yeah, you can pick up Freeman, but I just don't know. I just don't know. Not going to accept the trade, especially with Allen's upcoming match against New England. That's fair. Yeah, you can't really go wrong with either side of that trade. It's so close, man. Like I said, my gut feeling was Hurts and Amon-Ra. Trade Gibbs and Waddle for Walker and Charbs. I would wait until after tomorrow, Hunter, to see what Gibbs does with this opportunity against the Ravens. But man, Walker's so good that you can do it. If you really want to lock up that backfield, you can do it. But it's still close either way. Still close. I mean, Adam Schefter is sometimes reliable, sometimes not reliable. He should be reliable, but he's not always. All right, guys, I'm going to start wrapping it up over the next like 5 minutes. So if you guys have any last minute questions, be sure to get them in. This hour flew by. Mateo, what's going on, man? Start Palmer, Williams, or Jeff Wilson? I go Josh Palmer here. Also, Mason's a handcuff in case CMC doesn't play. I hope that's not the case for you either. But yeah, out of those options, I definitely go Josh Palmer. Other running backs are Demont, Bijan. We got Olave Smith and Flowers. I mean, I think Waddle is pretty important for your team. Having Gibbs behind Monty is not bad. But I mean, if you want to go out and get Walker, I'm not going to say no. Appreciate you, Birdman. You're the GOAT, Special K. Thank you, John. Have a good night, bro. Good night, Josiah. You be blessed, too. Look at that. Perfect way to end the stream. All right, guys. So hit the like on the way out. Helps out. If you guys are new to the channel, hope you guys enjoyed the stream, enjoyed the content. Hope you guys are back for more and consider subscribing. I'll be on tomorrow. I don't know if I'm getting on before the games or after the games, but I'll be on at some point tomorrow. So good luck if I don't talk to you guys tomorrow. Hoping for some dubs. It's a tough week. Appreciate you, Dom. Good luck to you as well, Rich. Need 2 out of these 3. Waddle, Moore, Pickens. I'm going to go Waddle and Pickens just because the quarterback situation for DJ Moore. Just picked up desperate Badgent QB. I know. I have him in a dynasty league. It's close, Hunter. It is. I think I got the worst running back room in fantasy this week with McLaughlin, Evans, Mitchell, Akers. Yeah, that's pretty bad. I promise you there's a worse one out there, though, my guy. Chris, have a great night, my dude. I appreciate you. Appreciate you, Frank. All right, guys, so we'll go ahead and wrap up. Like I said, I'll be on at some point tomorrow, whether we're reviewing the week or I'm on before the games. But good luck. I know it's a tough week, and I truly wish you guys the best going into tomorrow, and definitely wishing for fantasy wins all around for the community. So if you guys need anything before the games, you don't see me on stream, drop it on Discord. If you guys aren't part of the Discord, it's free to join, and the link is down below. And other than that, guys, be safe. Have a great Sunday. Good rest of your weekend. I'll talk to you guys soon. Love you guys, man. Love this community. Love the Catch fam. And with that, I will say thank you guys so much for watching and or listening. And remember, you saw it here on the Catch and